Let me tell you my favorite New Year's Eve story. It's almost New Year's Eve time. So I was a nursing student out west in southwest Utah. I lived in a town called Hurricane, signifies hurricane. And nursing school was just over the border, Colorado City in Arizona. And clinicals were way over there in Vegas. And when I was a student, I made $300 or $400 a month, and rent was $250. I worked part-time as a dental assistant. I started off full-time and I loved it. But now that I'm a student, I gotta study more than I have to work. So $300 to $400 a month, $250 for that, and I got to pay the gas to go up and down the mountain to school, and 2.5 hours in Vegas. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve, it's Christmas, and I got me a Greyhound bus ticket to come home to Florida, Jacksonville, where I'm from, to be with my family for Christmas. And well, to make it back in school on time, I had to get on the bus on New Year's Eve. And I was really sad because in our family, especially when we were kids, we'd take, hot lids and any kind of banger we had, and at midnight we'd go outside and yell out loud, "Ree, ree, ree, Happy New Year," and New Year's was a very special time. And I had to be on the bus. And anyway, so I had the idea, why don't I bring New Year's Eve with me? And so I got my sister-in-law kind of begrudgingly, because she had 4 little ones. She has 5 now, they're all big, but she took her kids with me to the grocery store, and they don't live very close to where Dad's house is. Took me to the grocery store, and I got all kinds of goodies for a New Year's Eve party on the bus. And napkin, whatever I needed. And so I got on the bus. No, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're waiting in line, and it's my turn, and I have this big box, and I asked the driver, "You mind if we have a New Year's Eve party?" I got all the fixings, and I showed him, and when it turns New Year's on the bus, he goes, "Yeah, we'll be an hour out of Atlanta, and I'll announce it. It'll be okay." So anyway, the saddest part of this trip was at 2 o'clock when the bus left. If y'all ever been on a Greyhound, you have to climb way up there, and there's my daddy down there. "Bye, Daddy, I love you." That was the heartbreaking part of it. But anyway, I got up on the bus, and I liked the front seat. If you can get the front seat, you got a view of the country. They don't only go on 95, like that. They go to little towns here and there. So I'm in the front row with my box under my feet, and he says we'll be an hour out of Atlanta, and it was dark now, and right next to me in the seat behind the bus driver is another bus driver going home. He's just resting, and he's going home. Hey, here they come. My brother and sister are coming. Sorry to interrupt. My sister's from California, and my brother's from Delta. Anyway, so anyway, the bus driver's sleeping over there, and not sleeping, but the driver, come on in, y'all. It's my favorite New Year's Eve story. Come on in. I'm on the bus going back to Utah. So anyway, the bus driver, as he's driving, he says, "There's a lady." He turns on the light. It's 1:15 till midnight. He turns on the light, and he said, "There's a lady on the bus up here, and she brought us New Year's Eve. She wanted everybody to celebrate New Year's Eve so you won't miss out. And she's going to come up and down the aisles and give y'all, some treats to go with New Year's Eve party." And so anyway, the bus driver in the back behind him, he took the microphone and he's talking and stuff. So I got up and the lady sitting behind me says, I want to help. I go, super. So I went down this way. She went down that way. We crossed somewhere along the way and handed out napkins and cups and bubbly, you know, like 7-Up or Sprite. I'm not supposed to say names, but bubbly drinks. And napkins, peanuts, and cookies, and what else do we have for New Year's Eve? Chips. What'd you say?
Black eyed peas.
Well, that I wouldn't have minded that, but you know, I don't know how to serve that. But anyway, we loaded up these napkins a lot, and that lady and I, and we passed out New Year's Eve. Well, the thing was, when I sat down in my seat, when it was, we had New Year's Eve, right? We had New Year's Eve, and I gave them confetti and a couple blowers, and so confetti was every inch of that bus, all over the floor, all over everybody. We had a happy New Year, right? And it was so fun. But the thing was, when I sat down and was trying to contain myself, because I was so intoxicated from this event, from giving, I can't even tell y'all, from doing that. And I'm writing it down in my journal because it just, I was high as a kite from that. It was so fun. And I'm writing it down in my journal, and I thought to myself, what if these people were touched by this little event? And what if in turn they go home and do something for someone else wherever they're going on the bus to their family? Well, it didn't end there. The next day we're stopped at one fast food joint or another, right? And the bus stops. I bring my own food. And anyway, we're stopped there. We're waiting in line to get back on the welcome. We're waiting in line to get back on the bus, and this lady comes up to me. She was the lady all the way in the back seat, the 3-seater by the toilet. Forget that. Even though you get a 3-seater and you can spread your legs out, but that thing sloshes the whole trip, and it's pretty foul back there, if you ask me. So she comes up, she said, you don't know what that meant to me. She goes, I was so sad when I got on this bus. I had to say bye to my family, and I was so sad. And all of a sudden, at 1:45, the lights came on, and she's like, thank you so much. You made my life. Oh man, you made my night. You made my New Year. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And another lady, she moved up behind me, so we're driving along now again, and it's like a 3-day trip. Go from Florida to out west. So we're going along, and this lady reached through the seat with her kids, and she said, we didn't have a bite of food. And I forgot to tell y'all, I bought 1 bag of apples and 1 bag of oranges, so they had to choose. So they chose either an apple. I learned that if you're going to give food away on a bus like that, you bring both so they can have both. But I didn't have enough, so they had to choose. And she said, you came around with peanuts and chips and drinks and fruit, and that was gold to me and my family. We didn't have any food, and we were hungry, and you gave us to eat. And I'm like, anyway, so you never know. For me, that was the best New Year's I ever had in my life. And you never know, when you're giving out something, how it can affect another.